let's go over kind of the changes that we've made in response to the audit. Get a little technical, I think, and talk about what's different in V2. How about that?
Let's do it. Why don't you kick it off?
So for anybody who's somewhat familiar with how we were doing things and are doing things right now on the testnet, on native Telos, there's what's called RAM. And for an EVM does not care about RAM at all. But because we need to make this all scale on the public network, we had to somehow do some accounting and economics for accounting for RAM. In V1, what we did is we built gas, and then we went and figured out how much RAM was used during that transaction, and we charged on top of the normal gas, we charged for how much RAM was used. So what the result was is that if you did a transaction, let's say I'm sending Telos to an account that doesn't have it yet, that is going to use a little bit of RAM to create their balance, store their balance. And then the second transaction, same transfer, there's no new balance to create. They already have a balance of, let's say, 10. I sent them 10 more. All we do is change 10 to 20, no new RAM. So what would happen is that the first transaction would have a very high gas fee because it included the cost of the RAM, and then the second one would not. Our auditor kind of pointed out that there are some contracts that talk to each other, and they assume a certain amount of gas will be used. And by doing this, we're going to make those contracts' behavior slightly deviate from other EVMs. He said you should fix that. He was right. He also pointed out that we're not following the gas pricing from EIP 2929, which is pretty new, but it was implemented earlier this year.
But we should come on the scene with the most recent most recent version, right?
Right.
The most recent to launch a old version
sheet, menu of things. So we've been at 2929. That's all done. And what we did is we changed our model from charging for gas plus adding the cost of RAM additionally as gas to a different model where we will drive the gas price based on the RAM price. So we've done a bunch of analysis, we've done a bunch of estimations and different things, and where we've arrived is that the cost of RAM, we know how much RAM gets used in the context of gas and certain opcodes that the EVM charges for different operations differently. So we know how much we need to charge in gas price based on RAM price. And then that will all be kind of handled automatically through the contract. And there's some points to discuss around RAM price and what Telos has done since day one. Our RAM is a factor of supply, so our supply is very low, puts us in a position to increase supply and reduce RAM price to get the gas price to where we really feel it should be.